We got another guy who does our baseball, Ian Castleberry, who also does our NFL Gold Nuggets on Thursday. So really the perfect guy to open the segment to get his thoughts on Sam Darnold to the Panthers and Ian's appearance presented by Happy Hill Restaurant. Wow, Ian. All right, Sam Darnold to the Panthers. This may work. I mean, I'm thinking the only thing I'm going on here is that maybe a change of scenery. Someone like a Joe Brady and Matt Rule could be a godsend for Sam Darnold, who has been saddled with different coaches and confusing offensive schemes since he's entered the league with the Jets.
Yeah, that was the first thought that came to my mind as well, is that change of scenery, better offensive coaches should help Sam Darnold. But Charlie asked a good question. Is Sam Darnold really better than Teddy Bridgewater? I mean, you look at their stats. Bridgewater, of course, is older. He's 28 years old. Sam Darnold's going to turn 24 in June. So you got to say Darnold certainly has more upside. But, Darnold, 60% completion percentage, 2,200 yards, 9 touchdowns versus 11 interceptions, only 6.1 yards per attempt. But he played only 12 games because he had a sprained shoulder that caused him to miss 4 games. Teddy Bridgewater threw for 3,700 yards. People think he had a bad season.
Exactly, yeah.
And it wasn't a spectacular season. 69% completion percentage, 15 touchdowns, playing in 15 games. So I got to think that the Panthers are thinking, the change of scenery, as you said, maybe he has more downfield capability, a little more athleticism at this point in his career than Teddy Bridgewater. But I think looking at the cap numbers, I think the Panthers could go with both quarterbacks, at least for the 2021 season. Sam Darnold's still on his rookie contract, base salary of $920,000. He is due a $3.9 million roster bonus, so that would be a lot of money to invest in one position. They would not be able to do it for 2022. Both quarterbacks set to make $18 to $20 million. So maybe the Panthers are going to try it for 1 year and see if that, is a placeholder, maybe hoping they could still take a shot at Deshaun Watson. What a letdown for Panthers fans, by the way, if you thought you were going to get Deshaun Watson. And you got Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater. But it certainly makes the draft clearer.
Yeah, well, there's something Deshaun Watson has that Sam Darnold doesn't, and that's 22 women accusing him of either inappropriate conduct or sexual assault. So I think everyone's kind of fallen off the Deshaun Watson bandwagon until his case and everything that is figured out. And that's probably why the Panthers did this. They're like, we're not getting in. We're not getting involved in this anymore. But Coach Sam Darnold, all right, Teddy Bridgewater, they're not knocking everyone over, but I'm assuming a great quarterback competition coming to the Panthers training camp on this one.
I think that is it. And for the price that they paid for Sam Darnold, I'll be honest with you, I've never liked Sam Darnold with the Jets. I didn't think he was a very good quarterback. But you got to remember, here's a guy that was the number 3 pick in 2018 coming out of Southern Cal, and everybody thought he was the best thing since sliced bread and he was going to be great, and he's not lived up to that. But you look at some other guys, the one I always go back to is Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill looked like he was just a bust with Miami, goes to Tennessee and resurrects himself, and so you wonder if Darnold might have, you're going to take a chance on 1 year to give up 3 draft picks, and let's see, is Darnold the guy? If he's not, we keep him for a year, and he either beats out Teddy Bridgewater or Teddy beats out him. And you knew that Teddy Bridgewater wasn't going to be the long-term guy anyway. They're either going to draft somebody or trade for somebody down there, I think. And so I'm kind of excited about getting Darnold. To be honest with you,
to a degree, it's like, let's see what happens. So if Darnold doesn't beat Teddy Bridgewater out, if he can't beat him out for the starting quarterback job, well, then the Panthers know where they are with Sam Darnold. If he's able to do so and make a difference, well, we'll have to wait and see on this. As Ian Castleberry joins the Wise Guys on the D.C. Creasman Jewelers Wise Lines. And Ian, well, we're gonna kind of shift in our baseball topics here. We won't be able to get everything in, but I want to start first with the old COVID. Yeah, COVID-19 impacting the first series of the season around the league. I know the Nationals are having an issue right now. Any other teams in that boat?
Well, it does affect the teams that the Nationals play, of course. The Nationals and Braves were set to open a series today. That's been postponed due to COVID. The entire 3-game series over the weekend with the Nationals and Mets, that series is postponed. So, we're going to see some doubleheaders. The Nats and Braves are going to play a doubleheader on Wednesday, and they're going to play 7-inning games. So if you're wondering if that was going to return for 2021, it certainly looks like that's going to be the case. 7-inning games, 4 doubleheaders. But yeah, the Nats right now are the teams. Circle them, saying they're having problems with COVID. 4 Nats have tested positive. 7 more are in quarantine after contact tracing indicated that they could be infected as well.
Oh boy, here we go, folks. And of course, baseball's it's kind of like business as usual again, Ian. How concerned are you that maybe baseball is thinking that they're through this when we still have a COVID problem?
Yeah, I think it's indicative of the culture at large, right? Many of us are acting like this thing's been solved, this thing's kicked, and it's not. You see the numbers keep going up, and then this, I think, is a little bit of a wake-up call to Major League Baseball, like, hey, keep following those protocols. We're not out of the woods. Some things are relaxed with letting the fans in the ballpark. Maybe travel procedures are a little bit relaxed compared to last season. So, there are many, many more opportunities. There were 60 games last season, playing the full 162 this season. So that obviously creates many more opportunities to get in trouble, to have issues with COVID.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we'll be following this all summer, America's pastime. Let's hope it's kept to a minimum, at this point. Ian, Major League Baseball pulls the All-Star Game out of Atlanta in protest of Georgia's new and controversial voting law. And while the Hawks and Falcons came out quickly with statements condemning the law, the Braves were silent until baseball's announcement. Then they condemned baseball's decision. Ian, how do you think this has gone over with Braves players in the locker room?
I don't think that statement is going to go over very well. Freddie Freeman did release a statement before the decision was made saying that, he thought that this was an opportunity to have a platform to address the issues raised by Georgia's voting law. But I think Rob Manfred saw a very real possibility that players were going to boycott the All-Star Game. And there were other, managers and coaches might too. Dave Roberts said he was thinking about, he's set to manage the National League squad. He was saying that, he was thinking very strongly about boycotting the game. So that is would have been a nightmare situation that Rob Manfred wanted to avoid. You don't want the players asked about this during the entire All-Star week, during events and so forth. That statement the Braves released, blaming Major League Baseball instead of addressing the voting law, you think Hank Aaron would have been all right with that statement?
Exactly. I was just going to bring that up. Well, there's a politician down there that said, wow, you're doing, I'm referencing here and paraphrasing, but basically saying, wow, and here you had a chance to honor Hank Aaron. And Hank Aaron's grandson tweeted and said, yeah, he just basically shut this politician down because this politician maybe not aware that when Hank Aaron was chasing Babe Ruth's home run record, he how many death threats did he get? Hank Aaron is well aware of racism in this country, and for any politician in that state to think they know Hank Aaron and how he thinks now that he's passed, Hank Aaron's grandson is right. You need to take a seat and let the adults handle this. And Hank Aaron would absolutely be heavily disappointed by this. And I'm not saying that because I know Hank Aaron. That's what his family and his close friends are saying there. So we'll see what impact this has. And by the way, in any other cities out there, options to replace Atlanta in hosting the All-Star Game?
Well, unless Major League Baseball changes the schedule around, I think you have to look at the teams that are on the road before the All-Star break. Can a team have a venue open for 7 to 10 days? So I think that narrows it down maybe to 9 or 10 teams that could possibly host the All-Star Game. Now, the natural inclination is to say, well, we just talked about honoring Hank Aaron. Well, why don't we move the Major League Baseball All-Star Game to Milwaukee?
Yes.
And you can still honor Hank Aaron. But Milwaukee does have some home games leading up to the All-Star Game, so that might create some logistical difficulties. I have seen there have been reports that Denver is the current favorite to host the All-Star Game. But the other teams that, fit this criteria, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Tigers, the Royals, the Phillies, the Nationals, and then there's the Oakland Athletics, which I don't think Major League Baseball wants any part of an All-Star game.
Yeah, let's
Not
go
in
to
that-
Oakland Alameda Coliseum.
Not in that dump, for sure. Heck, they're trying to get a new stadium there, for crying out loud. All right, well, we'll see. And I was asking, Dent Bradford was on the show as my guest host on Thursday, Ian. And when I asked Dent, I said, well, I don't think there's going to be enough. Well, I actually made the statement. I said, I don't think there's going to be enough time, is there, for another city to turn around and turn this around and make it happen?
I would agree with that for sure.
And Dent, he just cut me off. He said, they can do it. No, they can do it. I know folks, who are probably going to be dealing with this. They can do it. So that was good to know that, they can turn this around, because it seems like just a near impossible job. And so, Ian, real quick, because we'll skip past a few questions, because I got to get your National League East preview. This will wrap up your previews heading into the season. Of course, we're just 3 games in, but my first question with this division, are the Braves at the top of it?
The Braves are at the top, despite getting swept in 3 games by the Phillies over the weekend, only scoring 3 runs. That looks like a concern, but the Braves, they do have the best lineup. I think they have the best bullpen. The question is whether or not their starting rotation can hold up. I think whether or not Mike Soroka recovers, Tuke Toussaint recovers, maybe the Braves have to make a deal at the deadline to bring in starting pitching. But, yeah, I think the Braves are still the favorite in the National League East.
All right, excellent. And we'll see where that one plays out. And we actually do have a couple of minutes, Ian. It was outside of the, obviously the COVID issue with the Nationals. That was a low light. But any highlights from this past 3 games, the first 3 opening games of the season?
Well, I may have overlooked or underestimated the Houston Astros. Picked the Oakland Athletics to win the AL West. The Astros swept the A's in 4 games by a combined score of 35-9. So I think,
ouch.
The Astros definitely flex their muscles. Definite highlight there. Shohei Ohtani, if you watched Sunday Night Baseball last night, he batted number 2 in the Angels lineup, the first pitcher to do so since 1903, and he hit a home run. He also pitched 4 2/3 innings, allowing just 2 hits, though he did walk 5 batters. So Shohei Ohtani becoming must-see baseball, especially on days that he's pitching. And one more highlight, this is a homer pick, but Akil Baddoo, reserve outfielder for the Tigers. Very first pitch seen in Major League Baseball, he hits a home run. Akil Baddoo, as soon as he crossed home plate, he should have just retired right there. End on a high note. You're not going to get any better than that.
Yeah.
1 pitch, 1 home run.
That's like
George
George Costanza. Yeah, I'm out. Thank you. I'm out of here. Wow, what a great story for sure. Ian Castleberry does great work. Of course, Ian works for thecomeback.com, also awfulannouncing.com. You can like both on Facebook, by the way. And always with the Wise Guys, Mondays for baseball, Thursdays for the NFL, although with Sam Darnold, we had a little mixture of that today. Ian, always appreciate you, my man. Have a great rest of the day, and can't wait to catch up Thursday with some NFL Gold Nuggets.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks so much, guys. Charlie, always great talking to you.
Good to hear from you, Ian.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. That's Ian Castleberry with the Wise Guys.
It's a hard-working joker now.
I'm telling you, man, he is. People don't know. That's why we're always happy to have him with us, for sure. All right, thanks to Ian for joining the Wise Guys. Thanks to Mike Lawrence and the staff at Happy Hill Restaurant for bringing us Ian Castleberry today.